Hello everyone, how are you doing? So in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at formatting using style sheet, and it's very simple. So we're going to be looking at some CSS properties and their values. So just a few of them, right? So is a very nice topic to treat in CSS. This is actually essential for you as a beginner or as someone who is new to CSS, HTML to actually grab this knowledge and get to make use of it in your day-to-day designs. All right, so we're going to be looking at some properties like the color, the text align, the text decoration, and as well the text index, the text transform, and other many properties we have in CSS. We cannot really cover everything up right now, but I'm going to show you how you can get to work with properties, and with that you can also go ahead and play around with it. So the web page presentation has become an important aspect of web designing. So the style sheets allow various styles for formatting text, borders, and our paragraphs. So let's get this rolling. Okay, so in this tutorial, we're going to be creating, just say formatting, right? We're going to create a folder called formatting, and within this folder will create the index.html, which should be like the entry point of application, right? And also within this folder we're going to be creating a folder called CSS. This is where our CSS files will be created. So within the CSS folder we're going to be creating style.css. All right, okay, all right. So what we're going to do is just have a boilerplate. I'm going to create this for you guys there. So we have this. How did I achieve this? With the exclamation mark. You can do this. You can also do it with typing HTML. Then you can go for HTML5. So any of them, anyone that suits your file, that's good. You can go ahead with that. Okay. So first thing we need to do right now, remember we have some different types of CSS. We have the internal CSS, we have the inline CSS, and then we have the external CSS. So right now we're going to be making use of the external CSS. The external CSS is having your CSS in a separate file, which can be used in different um, HTML files as well. Okay, so right now I'm going to be linking this style.css within the index.html, and how we can do that is by typing the link uh, element. So this is a self-closing element, and here we have the rel. So the rel is going to be style sheet, and then right here we're going to have the href. So the href actually means where the CSS is located, right? So remember we save this within the CSS folder, and then within the CSS folder we see style.css. Alright, so let's do that. We'll go into the CSS folder slash, then we pick out the style.css. Excellent. Alright, so for those of you using Visual Studio Code, once you just type link, you're gonna see a CSS element abbreviation down there. When you click on it, it's just going to generate just the same thing we had up here. It's going to generate it for you, so you don't need to type all of that. Just for explanatory purpose, that's why I had to type everything so you understand what. So this really just simply means that we are actually um, bringing in a style sheet, and the href means where this style is uh, located. Okay, all right, so we can quickly get the live server. Go to your extension, then you search for live server. So we're going to be making use of the live server here, the live server. So just install that and you're good to go. All right, so we're going to be clicking on open with live server right here. Okay, so just simply get this. All right, so we have our application open up right here. So let's give a styling to this. Let's say we want the whole body should have a test color of blue. Okay, so how we're going to define that? First of all, you start with the name of the element, followed by your opening and closing braces, then followed by the property name, then with a colon, and then the value of the property. Right, as simple as this. So you can add more property here. So I'm just going to copy this. So you can add more, as many properties as you can add, so to an element. Okay, so right here we want to actually have the body here. Okay, and then we want to give this a property, a color property, and then we say we want the color to be blue. Okay, so if we go back to application, we're not seeing anything, we're not seeing any blue. Why? Because we need to add some things on the body here. So let's say h1, you can say header text, and then we have paragraph. You can use the lorem. Okay, you can use the lorem. Okay, so this is the syntax of styling in CSS. So let's go back to the browser. All right, interesting. So we have everything in blue. If we add one more text here, let's say I want to add a section, and in this section we can have an article. So these things are all HTML tags. So I'm just going to write straight up into it. So if I go back to my browser, you see that it takes the color of blue. Okay, so let's make use of another property called the text decoration, right? So what we want to do right now is we want to underline this text. We want to underline this text. Let's add one more here and say, let's say h1, this is the section header. Oops. All right, okay, or we can just say section header. Okay, so we have the header text and then we have the section header right here. Okay, so what we need to do now is to underline this text and underline this text as well. So within the body tag we have the h1, and within the body tag as well, inside of the section we have the h1 as well. So we can do this straight up with one declaration. We can say h1, and then we say text declaration is equal to underline. Voila, so we have our text underlined. Okay, so another way we can do this is, what if we change this to h2? You can see that it's not underlined anymore. So what we need to do is go into there, body, and within the body we have the section tag, right? Then we move into the section, and within the section we have our h2 which we need. Then we'll say h2, and then we'll just give the same text decoration on the line. Alright, you see that we have our text on the line. Okay, awesome. Alright, now we can still do all this in this declaration right here, because the property we want for this h1 is the same property we want for the h2. So there's no point writing a whole lot of code. We can just do everything in one line. And how can we do that? Let's comment this out. You see, we don't have it on the line anymore, so we can just say we can add a comma, which shows that we want to add um more elements to this. So h2. Interesting, you see that, right? So whenever you have the same property declarations for certain elements, you just have to, you know, declare them in one line and then specify the properties to it, so you won't have need for creating multiple declarations all over and all over again. All right, so for this now, we want our headers to be capital letter or to be uppercase or true, right? So this introduces us to another property called the text transform. So within the text transform, these are the values that we can give. We have lowercase, uppercase, none, and the rest. So we want this to be uppercase. Interesting. So we see it right here, right? So the header text, the section text, and also we can change the color of these guys. We've actually seen the color property here, so we can say the color should be red. Cool. So we have the red color right here, which is actually making big sense. Okay, so there are thousands of properties we can use to format our text, right? So we can actually make use of the text indent, like on this place. The paragraph can, you know, come inside a bit to this point here. Okay, just to this point here, and we'll do the same to this. So we can start the paragraph all together. Remember, this is having the p and this is having the article. So what do we need to do? Since we want these two guys to have the same property, remember what we did here. We're going to repeat it again. Okay, so we'll say um, body p comma body section and then article. All right, so right here what we need now is the property called text indent, and then this takes an integer as its value, so we can choose to have 25px. Awesome, you see that, right? So this gave a space from this point to this point, from this point to this point. Is it making sense? Yeah. So we have so many properties that we can make use of in this in formatting our HTML element. So we can as well choose to give this a border, right? We can choose to give this a border. And how can we do that? Here we can have the border attributes, and then we say 2px solid, oh sorry, 2px solid black. Okay, so when we go back, awesome, so we have this border, you know, like this red black lines, you know, shielding the text. So if you notice right now, the text is actually close to the border, right? They're all close to the border, so this will lead us to what another property we'll call the padding. Okay, so with this padding we have the padding. I'm just going to bring out, so we have the padding which scatters for all, then we have the padding left, the padding top, the padding bottom, the padding right, and the rest. So let's say we want to shift from this ut, right? So we can make use of the padding left, or let's say we want to shift from this squeeze, we can make use of the padding right. But when we want to cater for the whole size, both the left, the up, the top, the right, and the bottom, then we can make use of just the padding property this way. So we can give this step x. Oh sweet. So you see that we have this nice formatting, text formatting. So it's making more sense to us right now. Okay, so we can as well make use of the uh, border styles, right? So we can choose to have the borders to be dotted. We'll go with the border style. All right, so with the border style we have the dash, we have the dotted, we have the double, we have the groove, we have the, and so many of them. All right, so let's go for the dotted and let's see what happens. Cool. So this is actually making more sense right now. You see, we don't have the solid stuff anymore. We just have this dotted stuff. So we can choose to actually put everything in one line. Here we have solid. We can change this to be dotted, and it's still going to give us that. We can as well change this to be dashed. Okay, you see that. So it depends on how you want to format your text. So css helps our websites to be really user friendly, and having nice designs. Okay, so we can still have a background color. We have a property called background color, right? So we can say within here we said the background color should be yellow. Wow, I don't know how it's gonna come out, but just for lessons sake, so we'll say yellow. Oh, okay, okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, so right here we have the background color for each of these guys. So please go more and see what you can do with many other um, css properties. So there are many of them, many of them. So we can choose to also add the font size, which is for increasing the font. We can give this 50 ps, and if we go back, wow, it's very big now. So we can as well reduce it, so this gets a value of integer. So you see that, so it makes more sense. So this leads us to another property called the font family. So these are some predefined font family we can get from Google fonts. You just import it within your css and you can make use of it. So you see, this is what we have. This is looking really ugly, so so let's try something else. This, all right, wow, sweet. All right, sweet. Okay, so we can choose to change the font family of the headers as well. So come here and then we say font family. I think we can go with gay sans. I don't know how this is gonna look. All right, we can we manage that? Let's move to something more interesting. Okay, this is looking more like it. Okay, so let's go with this. Okay, so this is where we can format our HTML using the style sheet, right? Okay, so we can choose to actually make use of another property called the text properties. So we have text align. We can choose to align our text to the right or to the center or to the left. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're going to shift this section header to the right. Okay, so let's do that quickly. For us to style this guy personally now, we need to actually declare it on his own. So you notice that I said whenever they have similar properties, then it should be together. But right now we want to give this guy his own styling by taking it from this left corner here to the right over here. So what we need to do right now is we say body section, right, and then h1, and then we say text align property, then we say move to the right. Okay. Oops. Oh, not h1 guys, this is h2. Okay, so we correct this to h2. Awesome. Okay, so we have this guy by the right, and then we have this guy by the left. So that is how we can. So, and this is our our index.html on mobile phone, right? Is quite responsive, you know. Interesting, interesting. All right, so this is all about formatting using style sheets. So I would like you to, play around with the css properties, make some mistakes, get the corrections. Hit me on the comments, on the comment below if you have any questions for me, and I will answer as fast as possible. All right, thank you. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button, and also share videos to get other people educated and get this skill as well. Alright, thank you for watching this tutorial. See you next time. Bye.